1984, The White Book by Makavelli, Episode 15, Part 2, AIDS. A large part of this chapter is dedicated to the conspiracy theories behind AIDS, so we will explore some of the theories presented in the book here. AIDS, the gay plague. AIDS is an acronym for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, supposedly created by the United States for $10 million. The chapter says it wasn't meant for gays, but it was meant for black people. The prerequisite to AIDS is HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus. Supposedly you get it from promiscuous sex. GRID is gay-related immune deficiency, also known as gay pneumonia. CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and it could be a 1984 reference, meaning that it would be the opposite. So instead of it being the Center for Disease Control, it's the Center for Disease Manufacturing. But hopefully, for all of our sake, it's the Center for Disease Control. Operation Trojan Horse. Not to be confused with the Islamization of Public Schools in Birmingham, England, or the book about Ultraterrestrials from the 1970s. So if you look up Operation Trojan Horse, you're going to find something for England where there was a plot to Islamize the public schools in England. And there's also a book called Operation Trojan Horse, which is about ETs and UTs. UTs are ultra-terrestrials. I think those are like interdimensional beings, which is one of the common thoughts about extraterrestrials right now. AIDS continued. Liberia Infections from vaccines. They said it originated from sex with green monkeys. Feasibility Program. World Health Organization members quit their job. Smallpox vaccine to inject 1 billion Africans to reduce population. Companies reap limitless profits from legal drug sales to prolong life. Confession from anonymous source that AIDS was created as a biological weapon in a Fort Detrick, Maryland lab. Excerpt 25. So all those bulleted points from the previous slides there are reflected in Excerpt 25. So from Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper, published 1991, and keep in mind in Part 1, I had covered Part 1 of 1984. We did discuss William Cooper's book, Behold the Pale Horse. So in 1969, the United States Defense Department requested and got $10 million to make the AIDS virus in a lab as a political ethnic weapon to be used mainly against blacks. The feasibility program and labs were to have been completed by 1974 to 1975. The virus to be completed between 1974 and 1979. The World Health Organization started to inject AIDS-laced smallpox vaccine, Vaccina, into over 100 million Africans for population reduction in 1977, and over 2,000 young white male homosexuals, known as Operation Trojan Horse, in 1978 with the hepatitis B vaccine through the Center for Disease Control, CDC, New York Blood Center. And now the AIDS virus is on the street, in the drugs. Excerpt 25 continued. When AIDS officially began in 1981, the public was told that anal sex, drugs, and homosexuality were at the root of the new gay plague. The first cases were all young, predominantly white, and previously healthy homosexual men from Manhattan who were dying mysteriously from gay pneumonia and gay cancer in the form of Kaposi's sarcoma. The association with homosexuality was so remarkable that the disease was initially termed GRID, gay-related immune deficiency. Excerpt 25 continued again. Where did AIDS originate? Prominent cancer virologists and government epidemiologists have theorized that HIV originated in African green monkeys. Purportedly, the monkey virus jumped species and entered the black population. From there, it migrated to Haiti and Manhattan. After the virus entered the black heterosexual population in the late 1970s, it spread rapidly to millions of blacks because of transfusions with HIV-infected blood and dirty needles, promiscuity, and genital ulcers, or so the experts said. Excerpt 25 continued again. Not all scientists believe the official monkey story, although it is rare to find people who express this view publicly. One persistent underground rumor is that AIDS is biological warfare. Proponents of the AIDS conspiracy theory believe that AIDS has nothing to do with green monkeys, homosexuality, drug addiction, genital ulcerations, anal sex, or promiscuity, but that it has to do with scientists experimenting on blacks and gays. In short, AIDS is genocide. Most African Americans have heard the story that HIV is a manufactured virus genetically engineered to kill off the black race. 30% of New York City blacks polled by the New York Times in October 29, 1990, actually believe AIDS is an ethno-specific bioweapon designed in a laboratory to infect black people. You also might want to check out Inferno by, not by Dante, but by Dan Brown. And as I discussed in the previous chapter, Rebuilding America's Defenses, there is a mention of genetic-specific bioweapons. Excerpt 25 continued again. From The Conspiracy Reader by Al Hidell and Joan d'Arc, 1998. Despite general acceptance that HIV came from monkeys and the rainforest, there is no scientific evidence to prove that HIV and AIDS originated in Africa. What is true is that the first AIDS case were uncovered in the United States in 1979. Around the same time that AIDS cases were discovered in Africa. In addition, no stored African tissue from the 1970s tests positive for HIV, and scientists have a hard time explaining how a black heterosexual epidemic centered in Africa could have quickly transformed itself into a white homosexual epidemic in Manhattan. And I remember at the time there was a lot of stuff on TV, almost like conspiracy theorists were theorizing live on television about where it came from. And I remember in school, we used to laugh about green monkeys. Like, come on, man. Does anybody actually believe green monkeys? Excerpt 25, continued slide, 6. This is from The Conspiracy Reader by Al Hidell and Joan d'Arc, 1998. On May 11, 1987, the London Times, one of the world's most respected newspapers, published a front-page story entitled, "Smallpox Vaccine Triggered AIDS Virus." The story suggests that African AIDS is a direct outgrowth of the World Health Organization's smallpox eradication program. The smallpox vaccine allegedly awakened a dormant AIDS virus infection in the black population. The Times story is one of the most important ever printed on the AIDS epidemic, yet the story was killed and never appeared in any major U.S. magazine or newspaper. Form your own conclusions on AIDS. I'm just reporting on what I read and what was passed on to me from Excerpt 25. Andre 3000 on the song In Due Time raps, "United States giving out milk and cheese to pacify. I'm sure they got a cure for AIDS, but yet it's classified. Magic Johnson doesn't have AIDS. And did Eazy-E really die of AIDS? I don't know. There's a lot of theories that he was poisoned." You can see why this is split into 4 parts, the 1984 series. Sorry for that last video. It was like 47 minutes long. This one's under 9. So I'll see you all in 1984 part 3. Thanks for watching.